Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm gonna do an inbox review of the 1/72 scale Swedish light tank Stridsvagn M40L from IBG models. If you haven't heard of IBG models before, it's a Polish company that started to produce their own kits in 2008, and they have a lot of interesting, mainly armor, I would say, in both 1/72 scale and 1/35 scale. So you might ask yourself, what is Stridsvagn M40L? It's a Swedish light tank that belongs to the L60 series. It was developed during the 30s and early 40s, and it's a 9-ton tank with a 3-man crew, and it has two 8mm machine guns and a 37mm main gun. And it has an engine of 142 horsepower which gives it a top speed of 45 kilometers per hour. And the background is that in 1939 the Swedish army were facing a shortage of 80 tanks for the Swedish army, and the manufacturer Landsverk didn't have any resources to accept more orders, so Sweden had to find another solution, and they reached out to the Czechoslovakian manufacturer CKD, and they prepared a contract very quickly, and it was signed. The problem was that Czechoslovakia was under occupation by Germany, so the production were proposed time after time, and later on the completed tanks were confiscated by Germany and renamed to Panzerkampfwagen 38T, Ausführung S, where S stands for Sweden. This, however, opened up an opportunity for Sweden to make a deal with CKD, where they got a license to manufacture the tanks themselves. And this tank is the M40. And the L stands for Landsverk, so this version is manufactured by Landsverk. And there is also a M40K version of this tank, and it was manufactured at the plant in Karlstad. So if we start to look at the box art, I think this needs some explanation, because the tank here doesn't look very Swedish, and the reason for that is that 20 of these were exported to the Dominican Republic in the 50s. And they actually saw action in the Civil War in 1965. The kit, however, includes both the Dominican Republic and the Swedish markings. So if you want to build a Swedish version of this, it's no problem. Okay. There are not so much information. There are the same photo or illustration on the sides. Some information about the Polish manufacturer, IBG models. And we have some background information in 3 languages. I see now that there were actually 2 of these were exported to Ireland as well, which is quite cool. I didn't know that. Okay, so let's open up the box and see what's in it. So it's quite a big box for a small 1/72 scale tank. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues in one bag. We have the 2 identical sprues with the running gear in a separate bag. We have decals and some Photoetch, which is nice. And we have the assembly instructions. Like that. Okay, I will open up the bags and we can start looking at them in detail. Okay, let's start with the J sprue that has parts for the upper and lower hull. And as far as I can see, there are no evidence of flash or burr or any molding artifact, as far as I can see. Everything looks really good, and there are a lot of detail. Let's see if I can zoom in on this this hull. There are some really nice details, and as you can see, this is a quite small tank in 1/72 scale. It's it's really small, so that is something that maybe these types of kits are not for everyone. But if you like to build in small scales, then I think that this is a really good kit. Okay, let's see if I can zoom in on a couple of the other details here. Yeah, I think this part here is the lower hull, and that's the muffler, I guess. And this is probably the rear of the tank. That part. Yeah. Everything looks really nice. Good. We continue with the L sprue. That has this is the driver's hatch, I think, and this is probably track links that will go onto the hull. This is some kind of rail, I think. Yeah, looking good. And here we have the I sprue with the turret ring and some tools. Yeah, and lots of small parts. This is a rail at the front of the tank. I recognize that. This is probably the commander's hatch on top of the turret. Everything looks really good, but the only thing or issue that I see is, let's see if I can zoom in on this. The sprue gates are huge. They are really big. And on these small tools and things, I think it is quite demanding to clean that up, because the part is so small. So when you take it off the sprue, it will be really difficult to sand it or scrape off the excess material from the sprue gate. But yeah, it's the parts themselves look good, so I guess it's worth the effort. Yeah, looking good. And here we have the turret, and there seems to be some, this is probably a transportation issue, but it's interesting to see how, look at the sprue gate, it's in how it's engineered. That is, yeah, I understand now. This is because this is a slide. They have used a sliding mold to get all the details on the sides. So they had to do it like that, just to so the tool could reach the part. So look at the details. That is awesome. I don't think that I have seen a better 1/72 scale armor model, actually. But on the other hand, I haven't seen many, because I normally build in 135 scale. So I'm not an authority on that area. But it looks very good. Yeah, that is the gun mantlet there. And I think these wheels, they sit on the back of the turret. Okay, so let's move on to there are two identical sprues for the running gear, for the road wheels, the sprockets and the idlers. And there is a little bit of, there are a lot of sprue gates, and I don't know what this is called in English, but basically that is where the excess material will go during the molding process, to ensure that you don't have a short mold or something. And there is a little bit of cleanup to do, but the details look really nice. So maybe, I mean, this is probably not a beginner's kit. If you're planning to build in 1/72 scale, and for the first time, I guess that an Airfix or Revell or yeah. Let's have a look at the next one. As you can see, the details are really nice too. Yeah. Okay, so that was the plastic parts. Okay, let's continue with the decals. As far as I can see, they look good. They are a little bit like I think Begemot or Svesta decals, but I think they look good. And one interesting thing is that there are actually numbers for 0 to 9, and so you can make any individual you want, or just make one up if you want to. So this goes on to the turret, and these are probably on the lower hull of the tank, these yellow ones. And yeah, I think they look good. And we also have a small sheet of Photoetch with the engine grills and some other details. And one nice thing is that since this was packed together with the decals, they have actually sort of wrapped this in a plastic, adhesive plastic. I don't know if you can see the air bubbles over there, but and that is nice. So they are protected, so they won't scratch the decals. I think the mesh looks really good. So yeah. So the final part is the instructions, assembly instructions, and as we can see, there is the same illustration on the front, also the catalog number, and a shout out to the Swedish gentlemen that have helped with reference photos and information about the object. There is a sprue call out and some contact information for the manufacturer. Okay, and on the centerfold we have the complete build, basically covered in 11 steps. And I think that one nice thing is that the parts are sort of CAD, rendered CAD illustrations that look really good, and it's easy to locate and orient the part correctly, I think. I think the assembly looks quite straightforward. There are no real issues here, as far as I can see. And yeah, I think this looks good. This looks like a relatively easy kit to build. And on the final page we have the decal and the paint call out. And as you can see, this is the individual on the box art. So if you want to build a Swedish version of this tank, you have the decals for it, but you need to check reference photos on internet to get the paint scheme right, and also the placement of the Swedish flag and all the other stuff. Okay, so that's it. So what is my opinion of this kit? I think it's a very nice kit of an interesting object. It's probably not the easiest build, at least not for a beginner, but for someone that feels comfortable in working in 1/72 scale, I think this is a really nice kit with lots of detail. The only caveat I can see is that the sprue gates and the cleanup of all the parts could be a little bit difficult and could be quite challenging. I haven't test fitted anything, of course, so I'm not sure that it fits together, but looking at the parts, how they look and everything, I would be very surprised if it didn't fit together properly. But that's guesswork from me, based on what I've seen of the quality of the plastic parts and the assembly instructions and so forth. So I will probably build this in the Swedish colors, and maybe also make a small vignette together with it. And I think that this is a really great kit. It's not extremely expensive. I think I paid something like around €9 for it, and I think that is a very good price. I have included a link in the description to some live footage from Tank Museum in Bovington. I recommend that you check that out. It's really cool. And yeah, thanks for watching, and happy modeling, and I see you soon again. Goodbye.